Today, we're going to take a closer look at the list of Tesla executives, who they are and how long they've been working at Tesla. In technology, it's quite common for top talent to come and go. But with a few high-profile executives leaving Tesla recently, there might be a perception by some that there is an exodus. That can't be further from the truth. And also, we've discovered that Tesla has now combined their career recruiting page to include AI robotics and autonomy all in the same page. The merger of AI and robots is full speed ahead. Plus, there's one giant bit of Easter egg that we found about a new multi-billion-dollar business for Tesla. Stay tuned for that. So I've got Larry Goldberg here with us, and he did a deep dive on the Tesla executives, and he's got a list of Tesla executives, and he's actually working on a list of all the key engineers and other key employees. He's going to keep track of everyone that matters, and we're going to find out, how long they've stayed. Welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Herbert. Great to be here.
So absolutely, you've been just knocking it out of the park every time you do some sort of deep dive. It's just something that the audience absolutely appreciates. You did one recently on the 48-volt battery that just blew everybody away. You've been doing this quite regularly, so I appreciate it whenever you do this. You spend the work to do this. So let's get started with this. Do you want to show the table, or just why don't you introduce this topic first, and what got you interested in exploring this?
Well, there's been all this talk about people leaving Tesla. It was a high-profile departure recently from their AI group. And I thought this could be serious for Tesla, and I decided to do, a deeper dive into it. There are several resources that one has today, given, the openness of the web. I started by looking at the senior executives, and what I did is compiled a list of what I could find on the senior executives, and that compilation is kind of the start. I'm busy now on a list of 200 senior people, and by senior, I generally look at people at a management level and typically at a team lead level. And so that would be almost 200 people. But let's look at the list of the senior executives, and that's a list of about 20 people. I actually have a few more to add. This is a work in progress. This list is sorted by length of service. And, I run software companies for pretty much most of my life, and I've also run some industrial companies. And I have to say that, for a company that is 17 years old, to have a management and a technology company, a rapidly growing technology company, to have a management team that has an average lifespan of 9 years with a company is a luxury very few software companies, or technology companies, I should say, have. So if we look at this list, it starts, of course, with Drew Baglino. Drew has been with the company since its founding in 2006. Early in its founding, I don't even know whether it was on the start date or how long after the start date. And then from there, we go to France. And we know that there was a big turnover in the company right at the outset. And then we go to France, who's been with the company for 15 years. And then we go down, and, if you go down, you have to go very far down before you get, below 5 years.
Yeah.
And this is a company that has expanded by fivefold in, the last 10 years, and fourfold in the last 5 years. So this is a remarkable depth of talent to have been with a company that long. Becky Tanucci, she's down at the 5-year mark. She's made her mark big time with the supercharging network. She's the one that broke open the Ford relationship, the GM relationship, and the relationship with all the other OEMs. Brandon is brand new. He was a hire. They went out and advertised once Elon decided to really beef up his legal team, and he went out purposely to find a new leader in that field. But if you look at that list, so if you take Rohan Patel, now Rohan is a young man who came, out of Barack Obama's White House team and was recruited by Elon, I guess, into the team. So you get these newer hires. Martin Vieca is a VP of Investor Relations. Many of us investors in Tesla know of him because he is so open to retail investors, which is kind of unlike many IR investor relations people in many corporations. So you get, this amazing depth. And then once you get above there, you get a Vaibhav, who's just taken over the CFO role, but has been with the company for 7 years before he took on that role. So you move up this and you see people with very, very long tenures. Peter Bannon, this brilliant engineer who's done so incredibly well, in the whole low voltage field. He's the one who led the 48 volt, which is near and dear to my heart, the 48 volt venture. He's been with the company for 7 years. And then you get in this 8 years, 9 year, 10 year, which for a technology company is remarkable. And one that is, has this reputation for this very difficult leader and, difficult to work with and so on and so forth. So I would say that, and I'm doing the research on this, on the 200, on the layer next door, and I'm not sure of the hierarchy, to be honest, because it's very unclear from their titles and, what the actual levels are. So it's very difficult for an outsider to judge that. But I will definitely say that if I were running this company, I would be very comfortable with the experience and of this depth of management team. That make sense?
Makes a ton of sense. I'm glad you put this together because you're absolutely correct. Everybody seems to believe that there's an exodus of top talent. And what I like about this table when I look at it is things like this, like, Vaibhav Taneja, right? So we had the top CFO. What was he left, and then but then he's been there for 7 years. Peter Bannon is now in charge of Dojo.
Yes.
So these and they are being promoted from very successful endeavors. So there's no doubt to me that Rebecca will be promoted big time because she has made these partnerships with the superchargers. It became the standard. She, arranged all that happening, and it's now we're hearing partnerships with Hilton and yesterday Best Western. She will be promoted. Then you've got, Ashok, again, in charge of Autopilot, been there for 9 years. And I love your point that, this comment that Tesla, it's really hard to work for Elon. Tesla is hard charging. And yet, why would these people, the top executives, all be here for so long? This is, you know what it is? It's actually, the number is 5 years. I think you said 9. But that's because of you. The people love working for you. But I think the average is 5 years for top executives staying at a top company.
Yeah, I look back at my own company and the average period, and it wasn't 9. 9 is the average for Tesla. Ours, our average is also low. At the very top level, it was a little bit longer. Well, it's not even true. So, I would be so comfortable with my team if I knew my team averaged 9 years at the top level. I would just be, in fact, if anything, I'd be worried about bringing in new blood because 9 years is a long time in in an innovative company. And the fact that, I watched the Monroe live interview of the 5 top executives. And I thought to myself, how do these guys maintain this enormous enthusiasm for this enterprise given the amount of effort that they've put in over the years. I mean, that top group there had been there an average of 11 years. 11 years, yes. And so they've been putting out this effort for 11 years. It's
That's because
extraordinary.
every single year is a brand new company. I mean,
Yes.
David Lau, I was so impressed with David.
Yes.
And I hadn't heard from him, but we saw him in that interview. Brilliant dude. But yeah, I mean, like I said, every single year there's something new. I mean, Pete Bannon is saw 48 volt, came that out, rolled it up. Now he's in charge of Dojo. Now that is his past. I mean, he's a chip,
Pete Bannon comes from a very, very good, background. By the way, you say you haven't heard from David. You have, and I would remind everybody. David and Pete did a joint presentation in Investor Day. Everybody should go back and re-listen to that whole Investor Day presentation. I did, and I just finished my fourth listen to it. Every time I listen to it, and this is the fourth time, I learn something new. It's just amazing what they told us.
Impressive. Okay, so here's another big news is that Alexandra Mertz, following very closely the career pages, who's being hired at Tesla, just like you, Larry, you're going to create a list now. So she discovered that the AI and robotics career page is now just one page, and they're all combined. All this Tesla bot, FSD, Dojo, neural networks, it's all built into one page now. So there, AI and robotics is one thing now. And it's not just robots, right? It's also FSD. So this is the car. So the car or the bot are just two different kind of hardware that the AI can resist. And we showed this in a previous episode where we showed that the team behind the Optimus, the robot team, is pretty large, but it's manageable. 100. You said you counted 120. You actually physically counted each person.
Not really. I just counted across and deep.
That's great. Smart. And so these are the sections that are neural nets, autonomy, code foundations, evaluation infrastructure. Of course, we know that Tesla gets the best of all the smartest graduates. The number one company is, I think it's Tesla. The number two is SpaceX. All the smartest engineers want to work at those two companies. I'm not going to go through each of these, but you can see that, AI and robotics, Tesla bot, FSD chip, Dojo chip, Dojo system, neural nets, autonomy, code, evaluation infrastructure. So here's the bit that was an Easter egg. This guy, Johnny, discovered that Dojo as a service is confirmed. So if you look at the Dojo job description, and it says here, design a public-facing API that will bring Dojo to the masses. So that confirms that they're going to open up Dojo to sell it as a service. Any thoughts on this that I just covered, Larry?
Well, Dojo is a very intriguing possible business. Right now there is an arms race in AI. In AI, the arms race, the winner of this race will be the team that can train the largest model on the largest piece of software. Now, whether the model is real world AI, like for self-driving or for Optimus, or a large language model that answers everybody's questions with all the perfect answers, or that forms the basis of an AI application solution, who the winner is, we don't know, and we don't really understand what the AI world will look like in the near future. Nobody has the answer to that, I don't think. One thing we do know, though, is that we are going to need more and more and more and more and more training capacity. And, we only have to look at NVIDIA's share price and NVIDIA's sales forecast to see what the opportunity is. Well, Dojo is a direct competitor to training facilities based upon NVIDIA chips. Dojo brings a slightly different approach to training and to how to process training capability, but it has a legitimate opportunity, and we've seen that because Tesla has have made this commitment to expand it for their own purposes. So this could be a very, very significant business in a very, very short time. And it really turns on how many chips Tesla can get from TSMC, from their manufacturer, and get into the supercomputer that they're building that's called Dojo. Making an API and making it available to the public, there are so many opportunities once they have nailed that down, given the shortage of availability and given the demand for the training. So makes a whole lot of sense. I would do that as well. And it's, the earlier the better. And this, because the opportunity is now, today. People need it today. So the opportunity is, income soon.
Yeah.
And not trivial amount of incomes.
Not trivial. But so what you've covered today is that the executives have long tenure, average of 9 years. You've got the smartest of the most brilliant people there. They've proven it because Tesla's been very successful. Every year they launch something. Dojo is going to be a big deal. AI is a big deal. Robots a big deal. They've combined it all to one thing. And they're the only company at this point that has combined everything in one thing. If you go to work with, ChatGPT, OpenAI, DeepMind, they are AI. They're working towards general AI, but they don't have hardware. And so the combination of robots with cars, AI, and then you have Dojo, which is a supercomputer. This is the place to be. Let's hope that
none of them are working in real world. None of them are working.
That's what
a combination of it. So, there are very significant differentiators that Tesla can point to. Yeah. Opportunity is enormous.
It's enormous. Thank you for doing that. Now, so Larry, you said that you're going to go and continue to follow the executive list that you saw there, but in a future episode, we're going to do one for all the top tech executives, which I think you said might number in the 200 list. That's crazy.
Not only tech, but also the business executives. I think that one of the beauties of Tesla is they combine those functions. People are expected to have a business-like approach to the technology that they're building. Everybody really is worried about the weight of the piece they're doing, the cost of the piece they're doing, the value, the product value of what they're doing. So it's it's really a company that adopts all the modern approach to innovation, because they see every product, every component of the product as a whole.
Can't wait for that table. And I appreciate you doing deep dives on this and, educating us who are investors. This is very important info. Follow Larry, because he often will do these big, long, very powerful threads on X. Follow him there at Tesla Larry. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Larry. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.